Come on, what a day we're having, huh? What's going on, Jets fans? This is GreenBean with the Trading Fools stream, we'll call this one. Why not? Let's call it the Trading Fools stream. Let me turn on my lights. Boom, there we go. Now it's right. Well, hello. I'm happy to be here with you. I woke up today, and as many of you did, I imagine as well. You woke up, and we heard that Berrios was cut. Oh, we were just talking about Berrios. We were just talking about the potentials for both sides, right? Why would they? Well, why wouldn't they? Well, what does it really look? Hey, he's gone. It's over. It's gone. The word is that they tried to restructure, right? We know that. My question is, what did they try to get him to do, right? Was it just a straight up pay cut? And that's why he said, hell no? Or was it a, hey, a little CJ Uzoma type of restructure? And he said no? I don't know. I think it's probably on the pay cut side of things. Here's what I think. Now, I heard people talking about this today. He never slept. That's funny. I heard people talking about it today. And the thinking is that Berrios, and we knew this last year, like this is one of the things that one of the benefits of Berrios, right, was that the comfort level with one Zachary Wilson with Berrios was at a premium, right? We saw all kinds of fun pictures of Zach Wilson and Braxton Berrios on the beach, right, with pretty little ladies, and we saw the t-shirt thing. Right, we saw what was it? Zach is good, Berrios is good, right? We got all these pictures, right? We'll do these little picture things here. Let's see what we got here. I'll show you guys the pictures. So we'll get some of those up in a minute. But so now we have potentially a new quarterback, right? Like we hope. They're saying words like imminent, right? Imminent. What do you think of that one? Imminent, guys. I don't know. I don't trust it. I don't trust the word imminent, man. But so we're bringing in a new quarterback, and the Zach Wilson benefit of having his players, the players that are comfortable with him, it's not quite the same. And like we would do for Zach Wilson, let's say rumored imminence, your imminence, we'll call him. What do you think of that? We'll call him your imminence. What happens if he says, hey, I don't really want to do it without, I want some comfortable guys. I want a guy that I like. Where's my guys? So who would his guys be? Mr. Imminence. Your Imminence, right? Where would he be? Who would he be? Maybe Cobby, right? He calls him Cobby, right? We know that. We says Cobby did this, and we know that outside of 2 years where Randall Cobb moved around the NFL just for a minute, he started with Green Bay, Aaron Rodgers, and came back to Green Bay, Aaron Rodgers. And even though he's not the receiver he was, he's still a very, very reliable blanket for one Sir Eminence, right? I'm afraid to say his name. So it's interesting, right? So what did Berrios get offered? They said, hey, dude, we want you to, you're making $8 million this year. $5 million of it we can get back. You're only guaranteed $3. We want to get you down to that $3. So the cap number can be representative of what you're actually getting. And he said, no. Well, with the guaranteed money, I mean. And he said, no. Or did they say, hey, we want to do this or that? And he just said, no, he's seeing the writing on the wall. Right, here we go. Let's see. This is the one. Remember how good we felt with this little shot? Berrios is good. Zach is good. Oh, what a year, huh? What a difference a year makes, everybody. So we got the Berrios is good. The Zach is good. Let me do something here. Let me see if I can do this. Let me make it better. Here we go. We'll do it this way. What do you guys think of this? Here we go. So I'd like to get your thoughts on Berrios. Then we'll talk about Chuck Clark, of course. We're going to totally talk about Chuck Clark and the benefits of Chuck Clark. It's not quite as cut and dry as a lot of people are seeing and thinking and saying. quite frankly. So, we'll talk a little bit about him as well. And then obviously we're going to see where we are with Sir Eminence. Okay. So wait, let me see. Here it is. This is a better shot. Did I do it better? No, it still sucks. What's going on here? All right. So Braxton Berrios, let's pull up some of his stats, right? So this is what we want to do today. I want to hear, we'll pull up his stats, and and then I want to hear what you guys think about it. Are you upset? I'll be honest. I like Berrios. I mean, I don't love Berrios. It's not like a guy I think is going to be irreplaceable or anything like that. It's not the way I felt when we traded Keyshawn Johnson, right? Totally different. That said, he's been a Jet his whole career. He was obviously brought in by the Patriots, but he's been a Jet the entire time. And it's kind of a bummer. He was a good player for us. Not great, solid player. And the weirdest thing about him is that he fell off that cliff in just the most monumental way with the Minnesota game. Drops that sure touchdown pass, which, like I talked about at the time, and a lot of people agreed with me. If you were to pick at that time, if you were to pick any receiver to throw it to in that scenario, Berrios is on the list. He's up high on the list. Just he might not do this or that as good as those guys, but just to catch a 5-yard pass, Berrios, right? And he dropped it, and he's never been the same. So it's kind of a weird, we hit a brick wall with him. He's an all-pro kick return, and then all of a sudden he just fell from grace, man. And it's kind of a bummer, So let's take a look real quick. You can see how his stats went. So in 2019 here, he had only 13 targets, 6 receptions. They were all later in the year, if you remember correctly. 115 yards, no big deal. 3 first downs. And this is what we were talking about the other night. This is where his value comes, right? So he doesn't get 100 receptions, but what he does is usually pretty impactful. So 2020, he started to make his name a little bit. 37 receptions, almost 400 yards, 19 first downs, 3 touchdowns. Okay, Berrios is a valuable member of the team. He's valued. Then he goes up to 46 receptions on 65 targets. So they're including him. They want him to be part of the offense. Now there was some injuries and stuff too, but look at this. 2 touchdowns, 21 first downs. So he had 46 receptions. Almost half of them were first downs. So now I don't know, third down, if they were big first down, but it doesn't matter. The catches he receives goes for first downs a lot of the time, and we're going to lose that. So that's something that the Jets need to focus on and replace. All right, so let's see. Jets Forever, what's up, buddy? He says Berrios is one of the benefits was fair catching. Yeah, I mean, he was solid fair catcher. But, that's one of the things. I don't know if you remember Jets Forever. Jeremy Curley, who was a very, very good receiver. I would say maybe better than Berrios, but a similar kind of role in many ways, right? He was our punt returner, unspectacular punt returner. But he caught it. Like in the Jets, don't forget, man, we have been low on the totem pole for many years at many things. And it's like what we said last year. Like I just want to be relevant in December, right? I just want 7 wins. Because our hopes and dreams have been dashed by such painful, just abysmal football that our hopes are for progress. We just want to incrementally get better. We want to see something. That's how low we've gotten. Punt returner was one of those things. We used to have punt returner. They couldn't catch. We would have fumbles and just all sorts of stupid moves. So when Curley came on, he wasn't very good at returning it. His return rates were very low, but he caught it. And we were like, good enough. You know what I mean? Done and done. Berrios kind of became that. Now, he had some punt return ability, of course, but his real value came on the kick returns when he was all pro kick returner. And but like Jets Forever is saying, he kind of lost that in some respects. So what's up, Phil Adams? Braxton's closest to Zach Wilson didn't help him. It's very possible too. He found his ally, right? He picked his team, as they say. And you pick your leader, I'm on team this. You fight for this kingdom, and then all of a sudden you lose. You go down with the ship a lot of the time. Now I don't know, but I think that definitely plays a factor. I didn't say I just woke up now, Duncan. I woke up at what is it, 10 o'clock, 9:35 or something like that. Yeah, Brandon says Rodgers demanded to have Berrios cut, and they said, "Hey, look, we want to get you down to league minimum just to make it a thing." I don't know. JD, let's see. Anders says JD has some power in restructuring now because of Rodgers. Well, I mean, Anders, see, I'm cautious. I'm with you, and I think that would do that. I think some guys are going to be willing to make some adjustments and or take a little less because of the ability to play with this guy. I think so. That said, he's not here. So I don't know, man. I'm freaked out. Shafiq, I predicted Chuck Clark to the Jets. I have a gut feeling. Oh, really? Slayton from the Giants. Interesting. Well, I'll tell you what. Chuck Clark was not on my radar, buddy. So good for you. Good on you, Shafiq. Good on you. I didn't see it. Dom C, checking in. He's talking to somebody. But hello, Dom. It's good to see you. Good to see you here. Ryan Jett says trade Davis and a fourth for Thielen. That's the thing. It's like, right, we have an opportunity right now. Like, I think it's pretty obvious that the $10.5 million that Corey Davis carries, while not terribly high for a true number 2 receiver, which he can be, it's kind of the value of that right now with this team is kind of superseding his on the field value because of the injury thing, right? I mean, it's just, let's be real. Let's look at Corey Davis. I mean, you want to talk about a guy who all the potential in the world. I mean, where is he? And just kind of not there for you. I mean, look at this. So let's look at his Jets. So look, he has rookie year at 34. He was injured his rookie year. He played 16 games in 2018. He had 65 for 900. Then he was injured again. He played 11 games, 43 receptions. Then he had that big year. And he was the only game he missed. He missed 2 games here because of COVID. So he actually wasn't injured. And that's when we signed him. He's a 1,000-yard receiver, 49 first downs. Look at this guy. Then he comes here and he has 59 receptions, 34 receptions on 59 targets, 34 and 32. You see it? So, like, this is the guy we're hoping to get. This guy right here. 65, 43, 6. What we got was 34, 32. He's given us 6 touchdowns. Now, his first down ratio is pretty friggin' high, actually. So that's good, but he's not Berrios. He's Corey Davis. He's supposed to be the guy giving us number 2 production. 55 plus receptions, 5 to 10 touchdowns, like that kind of a thing. So the idea that Corey Davis is, he's not a highly paid guy. He's actually a good contract. But the $10.5 million, a lot of Jets fans are assuming he's just going to be cut for that, right? And maybe so. But don't forget, man, he's still under contract. And it's a low contract, so he has value. If a team likes him, you can absolutely add him to a deal to do something else that you like to do. He's a solid receiver. He's been healthy. He wasn't these last 2 years, but the Jets and their luck, right? So I would say Joe Douglas is absolutely trying to work some magic, man. You want to get, if you can get a 7th, if you're going to cut him and you can get a 7th, take your friggin' 7th, right? That's what I say. Curly Norman's spooking me out. What's up, Curly? News updates. Both are not good. Which ones? Let me see what you're talking about here. What's he talking about, everybody? He's making me nervous. What are you doing? Let me see. I'll update it over here. Let me see. New York Jets. Let's see what we got here. Like Chuck Clark, brilliant move. Braxton Berrios, could this expatriate return? Yeah, that's all. It's always the first thing with us, right? And no matter what player we cut, the Patriots are going to get him. Now, partially because they do that. It goes back years, man. Victor Hobson, Corey. I'm sorry, Harrison, Ellis, Revis, like this. So they do that. But at this point, if you're gonna cut him, then you got to be willing to let him go to your division rival. I don't know. If he's that valuable, if he's that scary, then you don't cut him. Kareem checking in. He says, Berrios is cooked. Clark move was great. Now go get Rodgers for a third, and the day's complete. Hell yeah, buddy. I'll tell you what, and I read a lot more today. People are reiterating their confidence that it's not going to take number 13. Best case scenario. What I would really love is if the Jets are able to just swap firsts or something like that. That would be fantastic for me. Wouldn't that be great, guys? Wouldn't that be great? So, yeah, we'll see. All right, let me get to this. Ron Weiss checking in. Thank you, Ron. He says, GreenBean, my wife made the roasted garlic you talked about. The house has never smelled better. Also, Cousins is being shopped. Yay or nay? Cousins? No, I want Rodgers, man. Now, let me say, if the Rodgers thing blows up, we'd have to look at that Cousins versus Jimmy G versus, Tannehill, whoever else might be out there. Cousins stays healthy, and he's good. Cousins is a very good quarterback. I mean, let's take a look at – it's funny. Somebody said that to us not too long ago. They said, that guy's essentially Cousins. Give me a break or something like that. They didn't like him. They were trying to say that Carr sucks, I think it was, because he's essentially Kirk Cousins. Well, let me just point out. Look at this. 4,000, 5,000, 4,000, 4,000, 36, 42, 42, 45, 65, 66%, 66%, 67%, 69%, 7%. Dude, ain't nothing wrong with a little Kirk Cousins action, buddy. You know what I mean? Look at this. 29 touchdowns, 14 picks, 33 touchdowns, 7 picks, 35 touchdowns. Dude, we've never seen numbers like this. It's fucking crazy, man. How we just kind of get a bug up our ass for players, right? Like the Carr thing is funny. People hate Carr. Like, and look, he's gone. We don't have to do it. But it's just a funny thing. Like when you break it down and you look at it objectively, it's like, holy shit. This guy's great. This guy's very good, man. Especially when you look at us, you know what I mean? Like, all the swings we've taken as of late from 2009 on, all the swings we've taken at quarterback. And we just can't get it. Ron, tell your wife, thank you from me for continuing the splendor that is roasted garlic. Dude, I'm telling you, that night I made a roasted garlic thing. We made a green bean. I mean, we have it's like a pound of roasted garlic. Dude, it's amazing. We made green beans, interestingly enough, with roasted garlic. Fantastic. I made chicken marsala last night over rice with, you guessed it, roasted garlic. Tom Cahill checking in with good news today. Yeah, it's good. I'll tell you what, man. So, I didn't love the Berrios news. I was hoping that they were able to figure out a significantly reduced cap number and keep him. Again, he's been good. Not great, but he's been a solid player. I think he's good attitude. The team likes him. Like, there's all positives with him. That second half of the year and last year was something. Now, they might even be looking at him, like Kareem said. Maybe he's cooked. Maybe they see the yips, dude. Like, he can't shake it. He's struggling. He's meeting with a shrink. Like, he's doing all those. Maybe they see that. I don't know. Maybe. Let's see what else we got here. I know, JJ, this is good. I'm really hoping we keep that 13th pick. And like I said, I saw a lot today. Matt O'Leary's been saying it. Ryan, too. They were confident the whole time. I have shared a little bit more of a skeptical view of that. I think it's going to be a first. I think there's going to be a first. Now, if it ends up being next year's first, okay. But we're going to feel the same way about next year's first as we do about 13 this year. I'll tell you that. Well, maybe if it's the 32nd. All right. Now we're talking. Okay. I get it. So the conditional pick thing, I do get it. Like being able to get him for like a third. Let's say we do this. Let's say we do Corey Davis and a second for Rodgers and Bakhtiari. No, let me rephrase that. Corey Davis and a second round pick this year, plus a conditional first round pick next, or conditional pick could go as high as a first round pick, could go as low as a third, or maybe even nothing if he retires, but if he plays. But if we get to the Super Bowl, something like that, some contingencies, right? Could go as high as a first. So Corey Davis, a second, and next year conditional for Aaron Rodgers and Bakhtiari. And you just bring him in. Just bring him in. And we'll get Aaron Rodgers comfortable with him, and we go out there, we go and sign Cobby, and we start to Aaron Rodgers this joint up a little bit. What do you think? Shafiq Lindsley, we were talking about him the other day. That's a really interesting move. 2 years ago, I would say a random bullshit number, 88.6% of Jets fans really wanted Lindsley on our team, right? And we didn't get him. We ended up, I think that was the same year, 3 years ago, maybe. We ended up getting McGovern. But we wanted Lindsley. There was a couple guys out there that we wanted, but he was really high on a lot of our lists. And he went to the AFC West, and now he's back. And don't forget, man, most of his career was with Aaron Rodgers' hands up his ass. So he's not wrong with bringing him back. Now, what does he want? What does Corey Lindsley's contract looks like? Let's see. Let me see here. It's Corey, right? Sometimes these names, man. Contract. All right. Let's see what he looks like. 62. Oof. Jeez Louise. Okay. All right. So this is what he's got left. Oh, look at that. Okay, he's got nothing left, really. So it's a huge contract. But so 23, 24, and 25, there's no guaranteed money left. And he's at $13 million cap number. So did they say they were going to cut him yet over there? Did they say that? So look, they can save some money by cutting him, 5 million, 9 million, 15 million. So they can do that. But if you just trade for him, you get a center for 13. But then, do you think he's an improvement over Connor McGovern? You got to look at that. I mean, just comfort level with Rodgers would be, a factor as well. So that's interesting to look at too. That would be interesting. You guys be happy with that? I'd be happy with that. It's going to be real interesting to see what Joe Douglas is able to do with the cap this year. Adam says he thinks we trade down from 13. Now, well, that's if we keep it, right? That's if we keep it. And again, I've heard lots of reiterations today that we feel confident that the Jets won't have to give up their 13th overall pick. I think that's amazing. It's an amazing coup. Now, again, you're only getting them for 2 years and all that jazz, but maybe, I don't know. Brian Bogan, what's up, Brian? He says, I trust JD to find quality talent in the late rounds and undrafted free agency. Well, what gives you that idea? When has he done that? He's proven he can. If we have a drop first, I'm not concerned. If we have to drop it first. Okay. I hear you. I hear that. Joe Douglas, if he's done anything, right? If he's done anything for us, he should be showing Jets fans that he has the capability to consistently find talent in the mid to late rounds and undrafted free agency. He's done it. He's done it more than once. So remember, Joe Douglas only had 3 drafts. So it's not like we're looking at a guy who's been here for 20 years or 10 years or 3 drafts. One was with a completely different coaching staff. So it's fine. So we really have 2 drafts with the Robert Saleh regime. Joe Douglas figured out a way to get essentially 7 first-round picks in that time. It's crazy. Crazy. Joe Douglas in 2 years, 5 official first-round picks, 3 of which were top 10, 2 were top 5. Okay? That's partially because we suck. So there's that. But 2 were top 5, 3 were top 10. And then we had the second round picks where in the first 5 picks of the second round, those are firsts, man. Essentially, first round talent, Breece Hall, Elijah Moore. So he's essentially figured out a way to bring on 3 first round picks, 7 first round picks. But on top of that, Michael Carter II, right? Bryce Hall, who's not starting right now, but you can't ask for better depth, dude. And you got Brandon Eccles, who they think is a step over Bryce Hall. So you got those guys. Jamie and Sherwood's one of our best special teams players. More than likely will get his shot with the defense this year. That's what I think. Sherwood's a demon, dude. And I'm ready for him. But then you look, you got the undrafted free. Well, then you got Max Mitchell, Michael Clemens, right? All those guys. But then you got the undrafted free agent. Well, you got Bryce Huff. Bryce Huff is an undrafted free agent. What about Bam Bam Bigelow? Bam Knight. What about him? So again, we're talking 3 drafts, and we already have this smattering of players that are either starting, contributing, pipelining. I mean, they're there, dude. So it's an interesting thing. So losing the first isn't the end of the world. I agree. But here's why I really want the first, Brian. I really do think whatever Joe Douglas has to give up, that 13th pick is going to enable you to slide back and get it back. So essentially, it'll be for nothing. That's what I think. I think Joe Douglas has it all worked. He's working. Would you agree? Would you agree with that? I think I agree with that. I think I agree with myself yet again. Ryder says Robbie Anderson is released from the Cardinals. So Ryder and Talon's pa, he says he doesn't want him back. I know some Jets fans do. I don't want him back either. Chosen one Anderson. Now imagine Joe Douglas gets him back for like 3, 4, 6, something like that, like the Berrios money. Now, would that be okay? It would be kind of a funny thing, but remember, that was 3 years ago, man. That's ancient history. Robbie Anderson's career, he has fallen from grace. That said, he's had just incredibly poor quarterback play around him. Throwing the helmet at Sam Darnold and all that jazz. Yeah. Let's see. What do you all think the holdup is? Rodgers or Green Bay? I think it might be, honestly, I think it might be contractual stuff. I think that we might be trying to rework the contract. Don't forget, guys, Aaron Rodgers has said the words that he used, but I'm still paraphrasing, but some of these words will be actually his words. He said that moving, if he is to stay after this year, he said he understands that his contract that he signed last year is going to have to be, in quotes, massaged a little bit. He understands that. This contract is ridiculous. He knows. He knows that. So I would not be surprised, Snoopy Doop, if we find out that the trade happens and the contract's already reworked. That's what I think. That's what I think. So Vervain says the report of Green Bay wanting a first was nothing but conjecture. Well, I don't think it's so, for me anyway, Vervain. I'll speak for myself. I'm just thinking realistically. You know what I mean? Like the idea of getting Aaron Rodgers, even at this age, he lost his offensive coordinator. Devontae Adams had a whole new skill position structure and the whole thing, broken thumb, and still threw for 3,800 yards. But the 2 years before, he was back-to-back league MVP. Like the idea of getting that guy, and when we just watched Tom Brady go from the Patriots to the Bucks and get right to the Super Bowl and win it, and then to the playoffs 2 straight years, like I just think a first-round pick isn't unrealistic. That's where I come from. It's like, I don't know. If you can get it for less, hoorah. But for me, my expectations are such that I don't expect to get somebody like that for less. Of course, you try. But that's what I think. That's on my end. In addition to some of those things that people are saying. Bam Bam Bigelow, Vervain, you heard that. Really? He was your neighbor? I can't tell you guys too much, but just know this. I'll say it in code. I used to treat a lot of WWF and WWE wrestlers for addiction. That's all I'll say on that one. Some of the nicest mofos I've met in my entire life were professional wrestlers trying to get clean, like we were detoxing them and stuff. I used to sit and hang out with them, man, and just sit at their bedside and at the end of their bed and just chat with them. Dude, sweethearts. Like some of these guys, like we had a guy, we literally had to bring in, listen to this. We had to bring in a different bed. Okay. The beds we had, he could not fit on it. That's how big he was. 6'9", 10, something like that. He was, but he wasn't just 6'9" or 10. He was also, 340. He was a massive, massive man. Had to like duck, like walking through. It was like just this huge presence walking around. And he would sit at the table, like, in groups and stuff like that, just sit at the table with all the kids, little punk asses trying to be tough and shit. And he would just answer questions, just chat and talk. And yeah, I know it was scary. I was scared. That kind of, it's like, it just blows your doors off with these guys. So anyway, I haven't thought of those guys in a long time. That was a big chunk of my life for a minute there. Professional wrestlers, man, they're all hooked on something, man. We used to get the calls from Vince McMahon. He did a whole thing where he like made this fund to take care of all the older wrestlers, the my era. So they were all fucked up, man. Like all their knees and backs are all on painkillers and everything. He started a fund specifically to try to get them all better. It was really cool. Really cool. I've talked to him. I've talked to old Vince. William Sprague, what's up, buddy? You know what's funny? All right. So William Sprague is a brand new beanbagger, right? And last night, we broke down defensive linemen in our private Zoom stream. Every Wednesday until the draft, we're breaking down a different position, prospects, and we ask questions. And that one went about, I don't know, an hour and 40 minutes last night. And it's just private. It's just us. You can ask questions. Really good. Well, William popped in. He's brand new. So he just got there. And we see the name William Sprague come up. We all go, hey, how you doing, William? Thank you. Welcome. It's nice to see you here for the first time. He never says a word. We're chatting. He doesn't respond. He was there the whole time, all the way till the end. I even hung out with one of the guys later, and he was still there. You were there the whole time. And I just said at the end, I said, well, good night, William. I don't know. I don't know if you were there or not, but either way, we were happy to see your name. And no, you never have to apologize. If you have any questions, man, write to me. I'll walk you through the whole thing, buddy. I will. I'd much rather you get in and get the benefits than not. So, and thank you for the support. Thank you for the support. The link to the Beanbaggers is in the description if you guys are interested. Beaner Live, dude. That's right. Beanbaggers. You can do the stream beaners. Let me see. I got to look at this thing, man. Hold on. Let me see if hold on. Oh, look at that. Wait. Let me see here. I want to make sure I don't miss any of your stuff because there's a relationship issue between this software and YouTube for some reason. Jake the Snake. Total treasure, man. Is he still? I thought he died. Did he die, Brian? I don't remember. No, I never treated Jake the Snake. I won't say any more about the specifics. Technically speaking, it's illegal. Even though we're talking about 15 years ago, it's still, but just reminded me when he said he was his neighbor. It just not that I treated Bam Bam Bigelow, but I'm just saying it reminded me of that. But yeah, lots of guys. Maybe I shouldn't say lots. Let's say 8, 9, something like that. Jerry Giannatos. That's a great name, dude. Giannatos. Now the thing is, that's Greek, right? It makes me want to feel like it's a paisan, but it's not. That's a Greek, isn't it? I think I'm right, Jerry. I will trade for Rodgers and Green Bay center for familiarity for 2 second-round picks. Really? Well, let's take a look at this. Let me see. Green Bay, Packers, depth. Let's see where they are. Let me see here. All right, let's take a look here. Now, I gotta, I'll admit, I don't keep track of every player on every team. It's hard for me. I'm an old man. Jenkins, I loved him coming out, man. I wanted the Jets to grab him so bad. Good. He's a center versatility too. But let's see. So you're talking about Josh Myers, or are you talking about Lindsley? So Josh Myers is the center now. Wow, I was hoping to see some stats. Let me see here. Overview. Anyway, so I think you might be insinuating Corey Lindsley, right? And that's kind of who we're talking about. I think that would be fantastic. I think that would be great, dude. Now, look, like we've talked about, I'm not an anti-Connor McGovern guy, but let's be real here. You can absolutely improve over Connor McGovern. I mean, I think he's solid. And the thing is, you find yourself wanting to keep continuity, right? You want to keep continuity. And he's the only freaking guy. Like, once you get rid of him, it's like we're tossing it all up in the air yet. Again, like, look, we had Laken Tomlinson was new last year. You had obviously Becton going to right tackle. That doesn't happen. Then Fant goes from left tackle to right tackle. Then we get Dwayne Brown, and then he's new. And then you got ABT hopping all over the place, and he was moving from left guard to right guard. And then you had him get injured, and Herbig comes in at guard, and then then Max Mitchell comes in at right tackle, and then he gets hurt. And then you got CJ Abuye coming, and it's like all these movement, and the one mainstay. Well, last year, too, was Laken Tomlinson. But as far as the last 3 years, the one guy has been Connor McGovern. So, like, you want to keep continuity, but not at the behest of improvement, right? Like, you got to weigh those things out. This is where the real interesting stuff from my perspective, as somebody who watches the NFL at this level, like on this side, like when you look at things like GMs and prospects and all those kind of team building and all that, this is an area that interests me. It's value, valuations, comparative, comparing different, almost intangible layers of value. This is where analytics and stuff come in, but not just numerical and analytics. It's like, it's the stuff that's hard to quantify. I love that stuff. I'm so interested in things like that, like the zone. Why are some guys able to turn it on? The same height, same speed, same strength, maybe even slower. Some guys have that intangible, and they can weigh in and all that. Ryan, okay, yeah, I'll send you the link. Hold on. Ryan wants to hop on. Ryan, who's been literally live for the past 39 hours straight. He doesn't have enough. He's got something to say. All right, I'm gonna send it to you right now. Ryan, I was listening to you this morning while I just woke up. I put you on. I was doing some work and I had you on this morning. Let me see. Ryan Delaney. Oh, you know what? Ryan, you're a friggin' Android guy. I got to do this the other way. I can't. All right, hold on. Takes me a second. Tell you. I accused Matt O'Leary of being the Android guy the other day. He's like, dude. I'm like, who am I? I said, that must be Ryan. That's who it is. Ryan's Android. Let me see, Ryan. Not that there's anything wrong with that, buddy. I'm not saying that. All right, here he goes, Ryan. Ryan, you're going to be getting a link in just a second here. There it goes. It's out there, buddy. All right, so we'll be getting a visit from. Hold on. Let me tell her I'm live. All right. Hold on. All right, so Ryan's going to hop on. Let me get this. Where did it go? Here's William Sprague. Hold on. Oh, there it is. Okay. Arbiv checking in. What's up, Arbiv? He says, how do you think Rodgers will handle a malcontent like Elijah Moore? Well, here's what I think. Here's what I legitimately and honestly think. I think by and large, he's not a malcontent. Now, he's had his moments, right? He's had his moment. Hey, Ryan, hold on one second.
Hey, what's good, dude?
Buddy. I don't think he's necessarily a malcontent. He's actually known to have a very good work ethic, and all those team player, all those things. We obviously saw just a big blow up last year. The hope is that it was just contained with LaFleur, right? That's the whole thing. That's so my thoughts are that we won't have that issue. He's going to see the opportunity to play with a truly great quarterback, shut his fucking mouth, and go where he's supposed to go. That's what I think. That said, if he does give us any shit, I think Rodgers is going to quite literally chop his head off. Like, obviously, figuratively. Chop his figurative head off and get him off the damn team. Like, that's what I think. Get him off the field. And I think that Hackett will understand that and say, yeah, that's right, sit down. We'd rather put on the ghost of Berrios. Something like that. So that's how I see it. What do you think? You think Rodgers, Elijah Moore, do you see a problem, Ryan?
I don't think so. Not at all. The issue with Elijah Moore was because Zach Wilson sucked, and Mike LaFleur was not using him to his strengths. So I don't think there's any issue with Moore at all. I think if Rodgers comes, we'll be peachy.
I think so too. That's so Arbib. That's kind of where we are. Now, again, I'm never going to back away from this stance. The way he handled it was 100% wrong and douchebaggy. Because we, as fans, it was our first legitimate little win streak in forever. And he shat on it. You know what I mean? Like, what are you doing, dude? So I think that I'll never back away from that. That said, it doesn't mean you hold his feet over the fire forever. Saleh seems to think he's made amends. He apologized to the team. He did the whole thing. And he's even said, look, that's not who he is. It was a very strange scenario. And like Ryan said, he had a terrible quarterback play. The quarterback couldn't hit him when the coordinator even had him in the game plan. So he's pissed. So I get it. So what are you doing, man? What are you taking a break from being live yourself?
So I had a little bit about my morning. I woke up and we hear that Deanna Rossini news, and I'm like, oh man, it's going to happen. Meanwhile, I have an interview for my second in command at the golf course at 9:00 in the morning. So I'm like, okay, I'm waking up at 6:30. I'm dropping Shay off at daycare at like 8:15. I was like, okay, I'll get over there for like 8:30. I pull into the parking lot and I look at the email and I say, oh, unfortunately, I'm not going to be able to make the meeting today. I'm like, I'm a half hour away from home and this news about Aaron Rodgers might drop. I am going to beat someone up right now. So I go screaming out of the parking lot and I go flying back, wind up hopping on the live. And then I have a second interview that I just finished. It started at 1:00. So I hopped off the live stream to interview a kid from Eastern Kentucky to be our intern at the golf course.
He wants to relocate and come east, huh?
Yeah, so we have 2 hotels and 6 golf courses with my resort. So we put them up for not a whole lot. Like they'll pay some percentage of the housing, but yeah, he'll relocate. He'll do a 3-month internship with PGM students. They get either 3-month or 6-month. I love the 6-month ones, but unfortunately, this kid's only going to be available for like the tail end of May, June, and July. So I lose him before August.
You got any courses down here?
I don't know. All my courses are like
work.
All my courses are all like they're within 10 miles of one another. All 6 of them. I run 2. I run an 18-hole course and a 9-hole course.
Yeah, you're the man. Well, your schedule is enviable, buddy. You know what I mean?
It's nice having the winters off. I really enjoyed that.
Are you able to collect? Are you able to do that?
Yeah. So because YouTube is like contract work, technically, like unemployment will ask me like how much I've made in like a week or if I turn down any work. And I don't turn down any work, but I don't know what I make until the next month. So, like I can't honestly answer it. It's but I pay taxes on all my like YouTube income and stuff like that. So it's not like I'm working the system or anything. My job
it really is. It's difficult. Work. It's difficult to put a finger on how to live. It's not easy to live if you're including this. Now, Ryan, I have a little surprise for you.
You ready for it?
Okay. Yeah. Close your eyes. Open your eyes.
Oh, it's O'Leary. What's up, dude?
Hey, what's going on?
Hell yeah.
Look at us. This is fun. I wanted to sneak in. I know, O'Leary, you're going live in 25 minutes or so. So I'm not gonna stamp on that. So I saw Ryan finally turned his fucking computer off for 5 minutes. So I jumped in
You're good.
And I was like, I checked. I'm like, is he 2 o'clock or 2:30? I saw 2:30. I said, okay, I got a solid hour here. Let me get in there. Let me say hello to some people.
You're the stream goat anyway. So I would defer. I would pause my stream if you went long.
That's the whole reason I did not go live. I was like, oh, GreenBean's live. I'm hopping over there. Send me the link, GreenBean.
Oh, you were going to go live again? You were going to do it?
I was like, I'm just sitting here. I'm like literally just waiting for something to happen. I cannot do anything. I'm stuck.
I know. Well, we're all in that holding pattern. Now, it's funny because I would never really go live today because I have Thursday show tonight. And we have Connor Hughes is stopping by. Actually, he might. It's weird. Like, so hopefully he can make it. If not, we'll have to push it because the Aaron Rodgers news is big. You know, he has to be like ready to jump. That's his actual job, you know. So hopefully he's on deck. So we got Connor Hughes coming tonight. But yeah, so I would never like go live again. But it's like I said, it's like there's so much like pent up energy right now. I'm like, I want to talk. I want to see, because we've been sitting around just making up shit for months. You know what I mean? This is kind of real. This is pretty good.
Dude, we got last night. I'm pacing around my house. I'm like messaging O'Leary on Twitter, and I'm like, Becca's watching me. She said, "What are you doing? You got to sit down and like watch a show." I was like, I can't.
Oh.
So I sit down in my office. I was like, you know what? I can't go live. I'm just going to sit here. I'm going to turn my camera on. So that way, if it drops, authentic reaction. And then I was like, oh God, I'm like, there's nothing on TV. There's nothing on ESPN, nothing on ESPN2, nothing on NFL Network. I was like, I need to talk football. I was like, I need someone. I was like, I'm just going live. I want to be in live for like 2 hours. It's just like, I can't sleep stream. It's outrageous.
Yeah, I saw that. I almost jumped on your stream last. I saw it. I was like working. I was like, once I do that, like I get nothing done. You know what I mean?
Yep.
So I was like, I can't. I can't like go in there. But this morning I just turned on my computer and there you were. I'm like, oh, okay. Ryan's on still. I didn't even know if you went to sleep.
36 hours or however long.
Right. Let me get to a couple super chats here, but then and then we'll see. We want to make sure that Matt has enough time to go to and set up. I'm sure you set up, but Big Serg checking. He says GreenBean has zero leverage. He cannot go back.
Green Bay
destroy their cap. Not to mention, Love might want to trade. I'm offering a 3rd and a 5th. Matt, what do you think of that? You think you're going to try to strong arm Green Bay, or are we going to keep this friendly?
No, I don't think it's going to be a 3rd and a 5th. I also don't think it's going to be like I can't believe that we are this far into it and there are still people who think it's going to be 2 first-round picks. Like that is banana land to me. I don't understand that. So I think it'll be somewhere in the middle. You're not going to get him for a 3rd and a 5th, but it's not going to be this astronomical price either. It'll be somewhere in the middle.
Yeah, it's funny because I was just talking about it before you guys came on. I'm hearing a lot of like reiterations, reconfirmations with what you guys were saying. It doesn't feel like it's going to take the 13th overall pick. I have shared that I don't know. I struggle. I think it's like, I don't know, maybe if it's a first next year or something, but if we're able to get this guy and it's not a first this year, or if it's something like a 2nd and a conditional, that's a dream scenario, man. And I think you got to do it. But like Big Serg is saying, I wouldn't get all huffy puffy now. Like we blow this and there's going to be hell to pay. Like we need this. The whole world is thinking like it's kind of a done deal. Mm-hmm. We need to come away with the Jetnation would literally start murdering each other. I think.
Well, what happens if Green Bay comes out to try and get some leverage and they say, we're willing to trade him within the NFC? Boom. There goes all our leverage out the door.
That's right.
Yep.
Yeah, that's the thing. I was just going to say that too. Like, what about other teams? Like right now it's kind of contained. You know what I mean? Keep it nice. Send chocolates. You know what I mean?
Oh, yeah.
Be nice. Ron Weiss checking in. Thank you, Ron. He says, douchebaggy open for Kiss in the 80s. Oh, yeah, I said douchebag. Yes. It's one of those words. Yeah, that was a good band back in the 80s, man. That's funny, Ron. I was wearing my Kiss hat earlier. I don't know where I don't know. Anyway, thank you for bringing up Kiss. That's amazing. So what do you guys think about Clark? People are thinking that Clark is definitely going to be free safety, but that's not necessarily the case. Mm-hmm. He's played almost 50-50 free and strong. So like Ryan, what do you think? You think he's more likely to make it so Jordan Whitehead is expendable, or is he just going to slide right in, fill that LaMarcus Joyner role, and then we have him and we have 2 vets and Jordan Whitehead being in his 2nd year? What do you think?
Yeah, I think they're gonna flex him, so he'll be able to do both of it. That seems to be what the Jets like to do at safety anyway. So at the very least, you have one guy plugged in for this year, and then Jordan Whitehead does become expendable, but he doesn't have any money coming to him prior to the draft, so you can go through the draft process. You know, you don't have to be pressed because you have a hole at safety, but if you find one that you like, you could then cut him, save the $7.25 million, and then you have your safety tandem in. Clark and whoever the new safety might be. But yeah, I think it's entirely possible that Whitehead becomes expendable now, but I just think it won't happen till the draft, or at least I wouldn't do it till after.
No, it's silly, right? You at least wait and see what if you hit a brick wall everywhere you look, and you at least you don't want to, what do you call it? You don't want to be holding your dick. That's what they say. That's what I've heard somewhere. What do you think? Do you agree, Matt? You feel the same way?
Yeah, 100%. You gotta just get this thing straightened out, because if you don't, then you're left sitting there. I mean, we've talked about it, at length here. It's it drops off quickly unless you want to pivot to Lamar at that point, but that's even a little bit of a drop off. Did you see the most recent one that I saw, which is interesting, is according to Tom Pelissero, the Jets and the Packers have like the contract and the trade worked out. It's kind of just up to Rodgers now.
Yeah, that's so. I saw that. I was going to put that up in a minute. I saw that in the chat as well. So he said the Jets have worked through the compensation and the contract for Aaron Rodgers, which means that, like Aaron Rodgers said, the contract might have to be massaged a little bit. He said it. So maybe they're already done. Now he just needs another 6-week dark retreat, and we'll be good. Maybe this fucking guy. How about you just say it yes, or say yes already? What are we doing? But hopefully that means it's going to happen soon. I mean, all the heavy lifting sounds like it might be done. Now, Jordan Victor checking in. He says Woody doesn't want to pay the full $60 million. I saw that somewhere else. I don't know where that's coming from. Is that sound firm? I mean, Woody has said on numerous occasions, I'm willing to pay whatever the hell it takes. Ryan, do you think that's an issue?
No way. Woody's got money on money. No problem. If he wants Rodgers, he's going to get Rodgers, and I don't think that money's worth it. I think it's Douglas saying he doesn't want to pay that money because it's going to hit us on our dead cap. You have to negotiate right now with the Packers, like, hey, you got to eat $10, $20 million of this, this bonus that's coming up. So that way in the future, our dead cap hit in 2025 and 2026 is significantly lower.
Yeah. Right. I mean, look, being intelligent on any level, of course, if you can pay you want to pay less. But I agree with what Ryan said. I mean, Woody has paid ridiculous sums for subpar players for many, many years. He's paid whatever his general managers wanted. Now he's had his fingers in the batter. He's, Tim Tebow and, maybe Le'Veon Bell, who knows? He's definitely put forth his opinion and such. But I think as far as the money goes, I'm not too worried about Woody Johnson on really any level. So, all right, Berrios, I want to get before we bounce and send, we're going to do a smooth, we're going to do a warm handoff, we call it, to
I love it.
Jets Report. That's what we're going to do, right? We're going to do a nice warm handoff right over there. So as far as Berrios, Matt, now you have both of you guys have said numerous times you thought it was pretty much a foregone conclusion. I hoped that I saw it too, but I was like, maybe they can, rework it, especially if we get Aaron Rodgers. I want to stay, blah, blah, blah. What do you think that they tried to get him to do, Matt? You think they tried to get him to take a significant cut, or was he just not even willing to do the CJ Uzoma thing and parlay things into next year or whatever? What do you think they tried to offer him? And are you bummed? Are you unhappy?
I'm not like super unhappy about it. I supposedly from every report I saw was that they tried to restructure it. So that doesn't necessarily mean that he's guaranteed to lose money and take a pay cut. It's kind of just about when the payouts come. So, it's a bummer, but it frees up $5 million. Unfortunately, he really regressed last year, both as a returner and a wide receiver. He had that really bad drop against Minnesota. It seemed like, especially down the stretch, every single decision he made going back there to return punts, if he fair caught it, he should have let it bounce. Or
right.
If he let it bounce, it was one where he should have fair caught. He just was second guessing himself, and it was time. You could find a cheaper replacement to fill the wide receiver role in free agency. Maybe like that's where Randall Cobb fits in, and then have I don't know, Bam Knight return punts and kicks, or draft somebody to return punts and kicks. I think that's the direction we're going here.
That's right, Bam Knight. He's a legit dude in that role. So I don't know. I mean, look, it's such a great point. I mean, he was literally fair catching it like on the 4 and letting it bounce at the 30. You know what I mean? It was like, what are you doing? But he was so in his head. You could see it. I mean, it was that catch in Minnesota. It's like that. He never came back. We never got the Braxton Berrios we knew back. You think, Ryan, that had something to do with it? You think the Jets are like looking at him like, dude, he's got the yips bad, and we're not going to want to continue. I mean, if he gets us down to 2 million or something, maybe you keep him. But you think that they were kind of looking at it that way, like it's time to move on anyway?
I don't necessarily think so. I would have been fine with if they could have reworked his deal and kept him for, like, let's say $2 million a year, and he was just the backup slot and he didn't even do kick return duties because, Bam Knight was better at it or something. I would have been fine with that. I think it's more so like some hurt feelings a little bit. Like, hey, we were going to pay you $5 million for this year, but we're not going with Zach, so you're expendable. Now, I think them wanting to restructure it, I think, was a good attempt, but I'm worried I shouldn't say worried, but like I think I could see him going and go back to New England.
Right
and
there.
Belichick getting his guy back.
Yeah. Well, and it's a weird thing. I mean, that's always our concern with Jet. Anytime we cut a Jet, the Patriots are going to grab him. And the thing is this happened many, many times, whether it's Revis, whether it's Sean Ellis, Victor Hobson, Harris, it happens all the time. But I think you have to look at things like, look, if I'm willing to cut a player, then I can't very well be afraid of him going somewhere. If I'm not scared, I should keep him. But I think you raise a good point, man. Like, we gave him this nice contract last year. Last year was the short money to help to help the cap. This was his payday year, and we're telling him, hey, we don't want to do it. That could ruffle a feather or two. I think so. Last thing, and then we'll move over to Matt O'Leary's channel.
Yeah.
Corey Davis. Look, there's all this talk with obviously Berrios but in addition, money as well. Corey Davis, do you think we find a way to trade him? He's got value, man. Maybe not as much as you'd like, but he has value. And I'm wondering if he could be parlayed like into the Aaron Rodgers trade to get maybe a Bakhtiari or something along those lines. Matt, do you see Corey Davis in any level benefiting us other than just getting cut for the money?
I think it's certainly on the table that he could be involved in the Aaron Rodgers trade. Supposedly the Green Bay wanted to trade for him last year. So that's not really, that wouldn't be all too surprising. I don't know how likely it is. I think more than likely he's a cut candidate, but if that's what Green Bay wants, they're like, hey, it's whatever, and also throw in Corey Davis, then I think you do it and you don't blink because it's someone you're getting rid of anyway.
Yeah. What do you think, Ryan? You feel the same way?
Yeah, I feel the same way. I think, I guess, devil's advocate, it might be who wanted Corey Davis. Did Green Bay want Corey Davis, or did Aaron Rodgers want Corey Davis? Because if Aaron Rodgers wanted Corey Davis, then that changes things, and I would restructure him for the next 2 years and keep him here if that's the case. Because his contract, if traded, is only going to be $10.5 million for the Packers, so they're going to be feeling pretty decent. Now, his valuation, according to Over the Cap last year, was about a $5 million receiver. So you're paying him twice as much as he was worth last year. If you factor in the injury, Over the Cap says he would have been worth $6.7 million. So it's still a little bit of an overpay. But if you think you don't have to compete with other teams on the market with Corey Davis, then maybe they want him in the trade. I would throw him over there if they want him.
That's interesting, right? Because his value, because you think a number 2 receiver, like $10 million for somebody who's actually filling the number 2 receiver role is not expensive these days. It's not. But he's not really a number 2. He gave us 34 catches and 32 catches the last 2 years. That's what he gave us. And that's not number 2. That's Berrios. That's what you want from that guy. You know what I mean? The 30 reception kind of a thing. Mike Palermo says Peyton to the Broncos, Super Bowl. Brady to the Bucks, Super Bowl. Stafford to the Rams, Super Bowl. It's a good track record. We don't want to bring up Russell Wilson and some others, but I'm with you. I'm with you there. It's a good lead up into Rodgers. Last thing, just quickly, do Ryan then Matt. Percentage wise, Aaron Rodgers is signed by the Jets this week. What do you put? What do you think?
Oh God, I'm like afraid to say 95%, but I think it's going to happen in the next day or two. It just makes so much sense for everyone involved. You get a pissed off Aaron Rodgers at the Green Bay Packers. Last time he was pissed off, he won back-to-back MVPs with our offensive coordinator. It's just the stars are aligning. Just get it done, Jets. Don't try to be greedy. If it's the second round pick and it's a conditional first next year, do it and move on.
All right, Matt, what do you think?
I don't know if I'm going to go 95. I'm going 97, baby.
Yeah, all right.
97% chance it happens by tomorrow evening. Let's go.
Oh, I love it. Like, right, shake off the freaky skepticism that we all share innately. It's like woven into our DNA to be like scared and not afraid to speak on things. 97%. I'm with you. I like it. I actually, interestingly enough, I actually have a versus game. Remember versus, Matt? I actually have a versus game out there right now. If you guys want to do it, I'll put the link in there, but you go to versus.com, look for GreenBean. The game is, will Aaron Rodgers be signed by the Jets before the March 13th negotiating period? You can win money, man. You can get it right and win money. But that all said, guys, we have just a couple minutes until the Matt O'Leary Jets report will be beginning. I imagine Ryan will be over there because he's going to be live all day. He's going to figure out how to be live the rest of the day. And don't forget, guys, we have the Thursday thick of it tonight. Hopefully Connor Hughes will be able to make it with us. No matter, it'll still be a great show, and we'll be talking about Jets. That's 8 p.m. right here. But let's go over to the Jets report and continue the conversation with one Matt O'Leary. Ryan, Matt, thank you for being here, guys. I appreciate it.
Yeah, thanks for doing this.
Anytime. Thanks, GreenBean.
See you guys later. Matt O'Leary show at the Matt O'Leary channel, Matt O'Leary NY on YouTube, everybody. I want to thank you guys for hanging out with me here. Truth is, I could do this all day. I really could. But I got to go take my daughter to her horseback riding lesson, and I'll be back later. Keep positivity woven into the fabric of this day for us Jets fans. We're going to get our quarterback. We got some safety help for a deal. Like, it's not a guy, I wouldn't be saying he's the answer, but he's a solid safety. He's expendable over there. We got him for next year's 7th. Joe Douglas continues to use his 7th round picks on players instead of draft picks. Dude, he's done it his whole tenure here. Amazing. Guys, I want to say I love you all. Have a great rest of the day. What am I going to – I'll do this on the end. Here we go. We'll do a little Klecko love. Guys, have a great day. I'll see you tonight for Thursday. Think of it. Head over to Matt O'Leary's channel if you want to continue talking Jets right now for the Jets report. See you guys later.
As a Hall of Fame voting group, we need to re-examine some careers. And I think we need to re-examine the career of Joe Klecko.
Dang, I want to see how I do against this guy because he was the best.
Left guard can't handle Klecko. Just knock the crap out of the guy across from you.
Intensity, bottom line. Never take a play off.
He was incredibly strong.
His just pure raw strength.
He was the same every play. Ball zone.
It was an incredible accomplishment to be dominant at one position in the NFL in your career, but to be dominant at 3 positions